Hey everyone, happy Friday and welcome to the Daily right here on MLSsoccer.com. I am Josh Weisenhunt.
And I'm Greg Lawless, and we are heading into a massive weekend in MLS. Maybe the biggest weekend we've seen so far this season, Josh. And it all starts on Friday night, Sporting KC versus the Philadelphia Union on NBC Sports Network.
That's right, Greg. 8 p.m. Eastern, the two sides who kicked off the 2013 MLS season. However long ago, Sporting got the favorable result on the road in that one. And Greg, I mean, if we're looking at these two teams right now, the form that they're in, you have to back Sporting again at this one, at home especially.
Absolutely. This is one I think Sporting Kansas City goes out there and rolls on a Philadelphia Union team that is struggling right now to have any sort of form, really any sort of cohesion, and they're not getting any luck either. It seems like every time that they could get a result, it all falls apart on one little thing. This is a Sporting KC team, though, that is about to get stronger than they already are. Claudio Bielsa looks to be back in the lineup for them. He's certainly back from injury, and he's expected to be in the lineup for this. He's their leading scorer, 10 goals on the season so far, and if he can get back into it, they're going to make a huge push down the stretch. They're right now 3 points behind New York for the top spot in the Eastern Conference, and I think they're really gunning for that top spot because they want that home field advantage in the blue hell all the way through the playoffs.
That's right. Sporting Kansas City chasing New York, and Philly pretty much chasing whoever they can at this point, desperate to get back above that red line again. 8 p.m. Eastern, Sporting Kansas City, Philadelphia Union. Get all the preview coverage leading up on MLSsoccer.com. Weekend previews roll on in what is now being dubbed Soccer Sunday here at MLS. Of course, we got two huge matchups, Greg, starting with Portland, LA, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. What do we make about this one?
Well, the first thing you make is that is the mother NBC. We're talking about the mothership here.
Big Mama's house.
The big one on NBC. And Portland, LA, a great game that is shaping up to be more of a rivalry as this season in particular has gone on. Because Portland, of course, they still think, first of all, they're going to get into the playoffs. But they still might be able to sneak up on someone and get a little further up to get some home field advantage in the playoffs if they can prove it against the LA Galaxy, who are still many people's favorite to go on and win the MLS Cup because of their ability, because of their experience in the playoffs. If they can do this one and get a victory on this one, it's a huge step, I think, for Portland. I think the key for them in this one, Diego Valeri has to continue his MVP-like season. Is it the MVP? I think he's certainly in the conversation right now. I think we're going to see what happens in this final month, whether he is that MVP, if he steps his game up even more.
Greg, you mentioned it's so much going on around this game. Portland, LA, again, it's 3:30 p.m. Eastern on the main network on NBC. Later on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, Seattle, New York, CenturyLink Field. This one, a lot of people are billing it as kind of that final battle for the Supporters' Shield. What do you think?
Well, first of all, let's go. This is 1v1. This is the top team in the Western Conference taking on the top team in the Eastern Conference. And the Seattle Sounders, you have to imagine, have the advantage in this one. It's expected that Thierry Henry is not going to travel and play. He's not a big fan of the turf. And if you look at New York, right, Mike Peckey's saying, I don't need to travel him out there. We're going to make the playoffs. He's more important. We need to preserve his legs so that you can get him in the playoffs. From the Seattle standpoint, you're looking like it's probably not going to have a Clint Dempsey. However, there are plenty of players on both sides that can step up. And who are the most important ones? Well, I think for Seattle, Mauro Rosales has to have a huge game. It's a tough midfield for New York, so if Rosales can get free and get into the attack a little bit more, that opens up options for Obafemi Martins and Eddie Johnson to do the finishing. Rosales will be the key to set them up. On the New York side, I'm looking at Fabian Espindola. I think Espindola has not really had the season that everyone expected of him. He's shown flashes of what he did at Real Salt Lake. This time, though, he needs to step up, show his ability to beat a player one-on-one, and go to goal. And that's going to be key for New York.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Again,
I'm already excited.
I know you're like
intense today.
Perspiring a little bit. All right, again, that one's 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. We are all set up. The Stars have aligned for Soccer Sunday. Portland, LA, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Followed by Seattle, New York, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. You can catch all the coverage leading up on MLSsoccer.com. Now let's look at some of the teams around the dreaded red line. Of course, we got two big ones on Saturday, Greg. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 and 5 in the East. Houston and New England. Which team needs a result more right now?
I think New England needs a result. They need to get a little bit of momentum, especially you're playing at home against a Houston team that obviously knows how to get results. So if the Revolution can put their game together, that little tiki-taka, what John Harkes actually said the other day, he likes watching them, he said they're Barcelona-esque. But look, they have it. Can they put that all together with Lee Win, Diego Fagundes, Juan Agudelo, if he's going to be healthy enough to really go in this one? That's going to be key for them. On the Houston side, they got a great result midweek in CCL, so you know they're feeling confident. They know how to get results, especially on the road.
Yep, also kicking off that same time, again, 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. This is a matchup that I love to watch every single year whenever these two sides get together. Vancouver and RSL. Obviously, RSL slowed a little bit. They're still in a good position, but Vancouver really need a result out of this one.
Oh yeah, and I think Vancouver did well last week to get a victory as well. So if they can get Camilo in there, it looks like Kenny Miller's not going to be able to go. So if Camilo gets a start and can do the same type of performance that he had last week coming off the bench, if Camilo has a good game, Vancouver a great chance to pick up 3 points in this one.
Yep, of course. And in the final redliner of the weekend, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, you can catch this one on MLS Live, FC Dallas and Columbus. Who's got the edge, Greg?
Well, I don't know. If Dominic Odura is eating all the pizza, you'd think that Columbus has the edge because they're playing very well right now, and Higuain's showing everything he can do. Dallas have come out, Kellen Acosta for Dallas coming out and actually saying it is do or die now, and he's absolutely right. In fact, Shellis Hyman, the coach, saying some of the results have skewed what they thought they needed to get. They thought they'd be in the playoffs with, say, 4 wins out of their last 8 games. Now it's desperate time for Dallas. They need 3 points in this one if they have any shot of getting into the playoffs.
It is the most wonderful time of the year, like we said at the top. We are set for just an incredible weekend all over the map. Make sure you catch everything leading up. Check out the match schedule and get set for another great weekend on MLSsoccer.com.